Hello everyone, my name's Brooke and I work for BouMatic, and this is Aaron Oten. He is a product manager at BouMatic, and he's going to tell us all about the BouMatic Milking Parlor here at World Dairy Expo. Aaron, tell us a little bit about the parlor, the history of it, and a little about what goes on in here.
Sure, thanks Brooke. Well, the parlor here at World Dairy Expo, located at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, was built here in 2014. Prior to that, we also had an older parlor, but 2014 is when this particular one was built. It's a double 12 parlor, herringbone type design. So BouMatic again sponsored the parlor back in 2014. So if you look around here behind us, you can see we have a full complement of BouMatic equipment. This is current equipment that is sold by BouMatic. You can see we've got our BouMatic branding in here, anywhere from the walls to the actual equipment, and the covers down the middle of the parlor as well. People ask us very often, does this parlor stay here year-round? Is it torn down and set back up every year for World Dairy Expo? And this parlor does stay right here on the grounds 12 months a year. We use this parlor throughout the year for various dairy events that occur right here at the Alliant Energy Center. Anywhere from a Holstein show to the Dane County Fair every July, and then for World Dairy Expo as well. And World Dairy Expo, though it is a one-week event, cows come in, of course, days before the event, and they're here for a couple of days after the event. So really the parlor is used for 2 weeks during September, October timeframe.
That's awesome, Aaron. Tell me a little bit about, once the milk comes through the milking cluster, where does it go after that?
So a milking system in a barn or on a dairy, it's really a vacuum and a pulsation system. So you're using vacuum and also a pulsation device known as a pulsator to massage the teat of the cow and draw the milk through. The cows enjoy being milked. When the unit is turned on, the milk is going to be drawn from through the liners and shell into the claw. This whole contraption right here is called a milking cluster. The milk then goes through the milk hose back into the central pipeline, which is located underneath our covers behind. On its way there, the milk travels through a milk meter where the milk is measured, and every cow on a dairy then uses an ID tag. So the farm knows how much milk each cow gives based on the cow's ID. So once the milk is in the central pipeline, it then circulates back to the milk house, where it is then cooled and then stored, whether it be stored in a bulk tank or in a direct load.
Awesome, let's go check that out.
Okay, so now we're in the milk house here at World Dairy Expo, and on any dairy, the milk comes through the pipeline from the parlor into the milk house. Once the milk comes into the milk house, it arrives in this large stainless steel jar here called a receiver jar. The receiver jar has a probe in it that measures the milk level inside the receiver. Once the milk in the receiver fills, and that probe reaches a certain level, the milk pump is then going to kick on, and it's going to pump the milk out of the receiver jar. And then once the probe, of course, goes back to the bottom, the milk pump is going to shut off, and the receiver jar will fill again. We use a continuous float and probe with a system called an OptiFlow CF to measure the amount of milk in our receiver jar and meter the volume and speed of the milk pump. So here we are next to the OptiFlow CF milk pump control. What this does, CF stands for continuous flow. Inside of our receiver jar, we have a probe. There's a float on that probe that goes up and down with the level of the milk that's inside the receiver jar. Our goal there is that when we pump the receiver jar out, we want to keep our milk flow at a fairly consistent rate. So the milk pump then uses a VFD located here in the OptiFlow CF, and then the milk pump will slightly speed up and slow down, so you don't have any type of surging or on and off sudden changes. with your milk pump. Once our milk leaves the receiver jar and it enters the stainless steel pipeline, the milk first goes through a milk filter, which is this large cylinder device located right here in the milk pump area. Inside the milk filter, you will see a milk filter, looks something like this, collects any small particles that would be in the milk, whether it be maybe some bits of debris or hay or something that would have gotten in the milk while it went through the transfer line or through the claw on its way back here to the milk room. Once our milk leaves the milk filter, it then enters the pipeline and continues its way over to the cooling system. The cooling system in this parlor runs to the plate cooler. A plate cooler is used on dairies to pre-cool the milk. There's different types of plate coolers, different passes of plate coolers. Very commonly, you'll have a dual pass or dual coolant type of plate cooler where you'll start with using a well water. That'll drop your milk from up around 98 to 100 degrees down to roughly 50-ish degrees. And then the other half of the plate cooler is a glycol solution is used to then cool the milk down to roughly 38 to 40 degrees. So a little bit on our plate cooler design here. You'll see we have a pipe coming down. This is going to be your warm milk that's roughly 100 degrees. Enters the plate cooler, and then the pipe continues over, and after it has been cooled by well water and a glycol solution, it then exits the plate cooler over on the other side, and then this pipe right here is very cold, so it's going to be roughly 37, 38 degrees. Once the milk is pre-cooled here at World Dairy Expo, it then is pumped over into one of our Glacier milk coolers. Here at Expo, we have 2 Glacier milk coolers from BouMatic. Both of them are 2,000 gallons. A 2,000 gallon tank will handle roughly milk from about 200 cows for one day. So throughout the course of World Dairy Expo, or at any farm for that matter, you're going to have a milk pickup either every day or every 2 days. Milk here at World Dairy Expo that's been collected historically during the expo is either used to make cheese, or they'll use it to feed calves. Another device that's used on a dairy today is something known as a chart recorder. That's located right here next to our Glacier guard. And what that does is it's a recorder where the disc turns. It runs for 7 days, and it records the instantaneous temperature of the milk in the milk cooler. Another part of the cooling system is the Glacier guard. What the Glacier guard does is a programmable cooler control and programmable wash control. So that's going to maintain your temperature inside your bulk cooler off of your cooling system. And also, this is where you program in your wash for your bulk cooling tanks. Tanks, of course, are washed every time that a milk pickup occurs on a dairy. During the various stages of the wash process on a dairy, different cleaners and sanitation products are needed. So behind me are the chemical pump boxes for the Glacier guard and the Guardian washer system. Below that is where the chemicals are stored in the totes and drums. Next, we'll talk a little bit about how we wash our parlor. BouMatic sells a system known as the Guardian 2 CIP system, or the Guardian washer. And what this is an automatic wash system for the parlor. So out in our parlor, we have a stainless steel wash line that runs, and then a clean and place system for all of our milking clusters and liners. With the Guardian 2 wash system, you'll take a product, whether it be an all-in-one product such as Brilliance, which is one of BouMatic's products, or any type of a detergent, and you'll use various wash programs to then run an automatic cycle through your parlor. So this large wash vat is going to fill with an appropriate blend of detergent and wash water, and then the wash program built into the Guardian is going to turn on, and it's going to automatically wash your pipeline and all of your milking units. That's done multiple times a day on a dairy.
Okay, Aaron, you've taken us through the entire milk path and everything that goes on. out front. Now can you tell us what's going on behind the scenes of the BouMatic milking parlor?
Sure, Brooke. We are now standing in the mechanical room portion of our milk house here at World Dairy Expo. Standing here next to a Glacier Chill modular chiller used to cool the glycol for our plate cooler that we just looked at a few minutes ago out in the milk house. These units come in various sizes, whether it be 10 horse, 15 horse, 20 horse. It's composed of a compressor unit and also of a glycol pump unit. And that's these two stainless cabinets that we're standing next to here. Next to me, on the other side, we have the condensing units. Each of these condensing units is paired with one of our 2,000-gallon bulk tanks sitting right behind. I spoke of those a few minutes ago. And these units are used to cool the refrigerant inside the plates in our bulk tanks. And that gives us maintaining cold milk. Right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about a heat recovery system. Now, the byproduct of any refrigeration system is excess heat. Typically, you would end up exhausting that heat from your refrigeration system out into the air. But we have something at BouMatic known as an OptiStore system. What the OptiStore does, it's basically a water heater looking device filled with water, and you plumb your hot refrigerant lines into this OptiStore tank, and then heat transfer occurs, and so you heat up water for free. This is a very good energy saving investment for any type of dairy operation, also any type of a factory, a restaurant, hospitality businesses are even using them yet today, is a way to save energy because they have all of this excess heat that they can then use to heat their water. Okay. Located behind me, we have two BP200 vacuum pumps. Use one of these pumps is used at a time. The other one is used as a backup. Very often on dairies, you're going to switch between the two pumps throughout the week or the month as time goes. This is what provides the vacuum used out in the parlor for milking. It gives the vacuum to the claws. Vacuum pumps on a dairy are ran by a VFD, and that's located on the wall behind us. It's a variable frequency drive. And then you'll see the two vacuum pumps here are plumbed together with using PVC pipe. This then here at World Dairy pumps out up through the ceiling and then runs out into our parlor.
Okay, Aaron. So how do we keep udder hygiene a priority and prevent pathogens from spreading from farm to farm in a community parlor like this?
Well, here at World Dairy Expo, we have something known as a back flush system installed on all of our stalls here in the parlor. When you come in to milk your cow, you'll notice there's a black button on the back of the detacher panel. Go ahead and push that. What that's going to do is going to activate our back flush system for that stall. The back flush uses both water and an iodine-based product called IOBAC 35, made by BouMatic. And that then is going to run a cycle of this solution through the claw system and out the shells. You'll see it run out onto the floor here, and that'll clean out the system so that we don't spread any kind of contaminants between birds or animals.
Okay, thank you, Aaron, for such a great tour of the BouMatic milking parlor.
Well, you're welcome, Brooke. It was a pleasure doing the tour today. And we'll be here all week, so please stop in our exhibition booth located in the Alliant Energy Center main hall.
Awesome. And also be sure to follow us on social media. Check out our BouMatic website. And if you have any other questions for your specific area, make sure to contact your local BouMatic dealer.